We're with the work of artist, smell researcher, and chemist Cecile Tulas, who has her studio in Berlin, a smell library with an archive of thousands of smells. She has come for her research trip to Korea and been to Jeju. Also, what you see here are the volcanic stones, known and part of the Jeju landscape, part of Jeju's landscape memory. Cecile wished to investigate the history of communal trauma as part of the Jeju massacre. And during her research, she coincidentally met with an incredible protagonist who in fact has long suffered and endured the history of this massacre, losing members of his family, losing members connected to the community. He has fought relentlessly for justice, and through his diary entries, Cecile pays respect to his life story, taking notes from his diary entries of every year of his life, and the process of grieving as continuum, the process of grieving as unfinished, but the process of grieving also through smell. Smell memory for Cecile is the most vital form of emotional intelligence. It holds molecules in it that activate the brain in ways that we are yet to fully understand. We are incredibly fortunate to have Cecile's mindfulness, her incredible intuition working with us in this venue. Without the artists present, we have installed this work very much in collaboration with the two protagonists, including a documentary filmmaker. Mr. Young and Mr. Jua have been extremely important to the process and this collaboration. So when visitors come into this space, they are invited with masks on to smell every stone. Every stone represents a year and a specific date, and you walk with the stone towards the background, which is again a library shelf very much connected to the history of this space, of the art space, art polygon. You go and you have this index in which the diary entries are placed. You spend time with it. You're invited to walk through the entire space, and then through that complete the circle of this life story. We will then go downstairs to see the work of Patricia Dominguez.
When Natasha and I first came to Gwangju and then came to Yangnim Mountain, we actually fell in love with this 400-year-old tree. We also invited Patricia Dominguez to be part of this selection of artists whose work and practice would be really matching to the spirit of the mountain. Patricia Dominguez is based in Chile, and she is very much engaged with research in ethnobotany as it intersects colonial histories in Chile and Latin America. So in the basement of the Horangasai community art space, she's taken over several rooms where she is really reviving healing practices, but also techno-animistic kin.
This space that is called Deep Memory Multi-Species Time very much connects with the work of Sahed Rahal. We are surrounded by his suite of drawings here, and also the fire cart of Sang-Don Kim, whose work you have seen in the Biennale Hall. The themes of cyborgs, distortion of bodies, deep time as in geology, deep time as in archaeology, are all conjured here in the works of these four artists that we have discussed. So here with Sahed Rahal, there is a playful and yet dark, subversive way in which he navigates the question of mythology and legends, thinking of the rise of ethno-nationalism, the kinds of creatures that darken the current technosphere, the kinds of monstrosities that shape shift, that we reconcile with, that we reckon with. Again, traumatic spirits. All of these are navigated and negotiated with in this very space.
We've chosen this mountain for its sediments of history as a sacred mountain. It was the site of sky burials. Then it was the site, also a strategic location for the evangelical missionaries in 19th century. Then it was subjected to Japanese colonial presence. This area is basically a condensation of various histories that are existing across Korea and not only in Gwangju. We have commissioned Korakrit Arunandan Choi to make a new film with us, and he has worked on site with scholar Kim Song-nae, as well as filmmakers in Jeju, to make a film. Songs for Dying is a co-commission we've embarked with Kunsthal Trondheim and Hannafken's Foundation as well. And Korakrit has joined us in one of our earlier trips, and he also had the acquaintance of scholar Kim Song-nae, through whose agency he could access a massive history of massacres in Jeju, which he's also weaving into his film. The film also has footage from Thailand protests, but also underwater footage that references to the turtle gods of Jeju Island, and where he also, of course, created this beautiful painting. And he's brought also these wonderful ducks that are actually a reference to the protests in Thailand, weaving everything together between shamanistic rituals and animistic rituals, and situating them all together with the sacred energies of the mountain. There is a wonderful Christian cemetery above us where there is the lore of a female Christian missionary. When she died, there were petals of roses were coming from the sky. And you will be able to see that also in the film that Korakrit has made. And he didn't even know that was the connection. And this is how everything is coming together. And that's been really our journey together with Natasha Jinwala.